Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Real Talks Dominate Real Estate. It's March 12, 2021, and I'm Arusul Miyaza. Grab a cup of coffee and let's make your real estate career better. So today we're going to start off with the headlines. All right, is refinancing boom encouraging homeowners to stay put? Over the past year, homeowners have been rushing to refinance their mortgage and lock in all-time low interest rates, which remained below 3% until last week. But could these super low rates have the effect of encouraging homeowners to stay put even longer, starving the market of desperately needed inventory? Joe Melman, Senior Vice President and Mortgage Business Leader at TransUnion, says he believes homeowners, particularly first-timers who tend to trade up after a few years, may be unwilling to move in the future because of their low refinance rates. Melman told lending news service Scotsman Guide that if a homeowner has an interest rate of 4%, for example, a 1 percentage point increase in rates could mean that homeowners could pay 25% more interest if he or she took out a new mortgage. If the homeowner is considering a more expensive home, he or she may see a higher rate as having a sizable impact on affordability. What we may end up seeing is a lot more consumers staying in their first home as opposed to moving up. Melman told Scotsman Guide that in turn is going to put pressure on first-time home buyers because now you don't have this natural vacuum of people leaving the affordable housing stock and moving into more expensive housing stock. In other news, in a study of counties that have seen the largest uptick of home buyers and subsequently home value, the top 10 are all in either vacation destinations or relatively affordable suburbs of big cities. That's in line with the country's sweeping work-from-home mandates put in last March, which allowed millions of people with the capital to buy a home realizing they could work and live anywhere. East Coast suburbs are also seeing an uptick in home buyers as people move out of the cities and into vacation towns that offer more land. Barnstable County, Massachusetts, which includes Cape Cod, saw the median number of days on the market fall 46 days from the year before, while home prices increased 31% year over year. Ocean County, New Jersey, and Orange County, New York also saw giant drops in median number of days on the housing market. In addition, demand for second homes across the country has skyrocketed since last January, up to 84% year over year, according to Redfin. And in super populous cities like New York, now is a great time to buy a condominium or a co-op living space, said Ken Weil, New York Redfin real estate agent. Other metro areas are taking a hit. Metro areas taking a hit are home buyers in Arlington County, Virginia, home of Amazon's second headquarters, which has seen a median increase of homes on the market for 12 days since last year. The District of Columbia, only 31% of homes hold above list price. In New York County, houses on the market for an average of 184 days. What remains to be seen is how the continued vaccine rollout and expected economic stimulus checks impacts the larger metro areas' housing markets. With most people receiving immunizations from COVID-19, more workplaces could open back up to its employees, in turn drawing them back to the city to avoid commuting from suburbs and vacation towns. However, money from the government could also inspire potential homeowners to make a down payment on a larger place and actually draw even more people away from crowded metro areas. In related news, Fannie Mae's Home Purchase Sentiment Index, HPSI, a composite index designed to track the housing market and consumer confidence to sell or buy a home, fell 1.2 points in February. Fear not, experts say better days are ahead. Overall, the Home Purchase Sentiment Index hit 76.5 last month, down from 77.7 in January. A small drop was expected, according to Fannie Mae Senior Vice President and Chief Economist Dave Duncan, but housing market confidence should be reflected in the coming months. The HPSI remained relatively flat in February, but underlying data indicates growing job-related optimism among consumers, especially among lower-income and renter groups, Duncan said the likelihood of COVID-19 lockdown restrictions easing as vaccination efforts ramp up, combined with the forthcoming warmer weather and another round of fiscal stimulus checks, will give consumers good reason to feel more confident about the labor and housing markets. However, other components of the index remain well below pre-pandemic levels, so we believe there may still be room for improvement in housing and economic attitudes in the coming months, depending in part on the future path of mortgage rates. borrowers remain relatively pessimistic on the state of home prices. As the HPSI reported, 47% of respondents expect home prices will go up in the next 12 months, up from 41% last month. Those who believe prices will go down increased for the second straight month, this time from 17 to 18%. A larger percentage of HPSI respondents now believe mortgage rates will go up as well, from 45 to 47%. They were correct, as rates climbed above 3% for the first time since July. The percentage of HPSI respondents who say it is a good time to buy a home decreased from 52 to 48%, while the percentage who say it is a bad time to buy increased from 37 to 43%. Likewise, the percentage of respondents who say it is a good time to sell a home decreased from 57 to 55%, while the percentage who say it's a bad time to sell increased from 33 to 35%. Job security did see an uptick in last month's responders, as the percentage of respondents who say they are not concerned about losing their job in the next 12 months increased from 75 to 82%. The percentage who say they are concerned decreased from 24 to 17%. Expect these numbers to continue trending upward, as most economists agree the housing market will be one of the driving factors in boosting the economy post-COVID, but a comprehensive vaccine rollout remains key, Duncan said. All right, now we're going on to rates. 30-year fixed, 2.875%, 30-year jumbo, 2.625%, FHA, as well, 2.65%, and VAs, 2.5%. This is provided by PNC Mortgage. All right, now on to the market stats. In the last week in Hampton Roads, we saw 794 new listings hit the market, 837 properties go pending, and 713 properties sold. In the last week in the Washington metro area, within 30 miles of the White House, we saw 1,407 new listings hit the market, 1,950 go pending, and 1,111 homes sold. All right, now on to our special guest, Coach Amy Lassen. Thank you, Amy. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today's going to be a really, really interesting topic, right? Do less and do it better.
Do less and do it better. I think that probably sounds like blasphemy to most modern Americans. It's like, no. I do it all. I just spread myself thin and I multitask. And we're going to talk about the opposite of that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And also, we were speaking right before the show. It has to do with a book. So this is going to be a really interesting conversation.
Yeah. A lot of the concepts come from this book. I dearly love this book, Essentialism. I've shared on other shows in the past that if you're going to give a powerful book to your raving fans, your core advocates, your top 20 referral sources in your database, give them the book Essentialism. Although I would read it first. Don't give away a book.
Right.
Read. Now, I'm curious. We were also talking before the show. You said something about a class that you had in high school that had essentialism. Was that a topic, or what do you mean?
It was just it was a unit in English. Just applying it to literature. And so I just thought about it and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
All right, cool. Well, then maybe we need to define the concept, although I think the mantra do less but do it better is a perfectly good explanation of what essentialism is. I actually took a summary that I wanted to read.
Yeah.
The way of the essentialist is the relentless pursuit of less but better. The three main concepts are recognizing that you have individual choice. You can choose how much you spend your time and energy on things. And this is such a, agents think it's out of their control. And we'll come back to this. Agents always, no, I don't have control over my time. Somebody called me, I had to show that house, right? So we can choose how to spend our energy and time. 2, almost everything is noise, and very few things actually have value. Think, Jerusalem, about calls you and I have had, conversations you and I have had, where we've got a limited amount of time to address some really important stuff, and how often we feel ourselves pulled to, yeah, but what about these extra things? And should we consider this? And should we teach a class on that? And we've got to focus on the things that are going to make the biggest impact.
Right.
Not everything is important, right? There's an expression that says, if everything is special, then nothing is special. We've got to,
I've heard of that one, yeah.
We've got to recognize that. And then number 3, there are trade-offs. You actually can't have it all, and you can't do it all. And I think people get upset when you say that to them. And because I'm a business coach, I have to be careful to not say that, because people come to a coach saying, I want what I want, get me there. I have unlimiting beliefs, right? I'm brave, I'm fearless. And that's a really good attitude, to believe that if you set your sights on anything, you could do it. The author of the book Essentialism, Craig McGowan, says, you can do anything. You can't do everything.
Right.
And there's a difference. So I think for you and I, Jerusalem, in our training and coaching, we really try to help agents focus on getting more deals closed, right?
Right.
And saving enough time to go home to their life. And really, what else matters? So when I'm coaching agents and they say, hey, I have this crazy idea and I was thinking of this, and should I start one of these? I have a really hard time bringing them back to, wait, what was the goal again? Right? What was the goal? Well, I wanted to close more deals. They usually don't even remember that that was the goal. You know, they'll say, oh, it was to grow my prominence on social media. I'm like, to what
And
end?
you made a good point too, because you and Charlie would always say, like, making sure that we're constantly going back to our goal, reviewing our business planning and things like that, so that we don't really forget it. We have it in the back of our minds throughout the day.
Yeah. So you have to ask yourself, why are you doing this? Is it furthering the goal that you have, right? And plenty of people are like, well, it'll increase my presence on social media. It will make my database bigger. Like, that isn't the goal in and of itself, I don't think. Having a massive database, I don't think, is anybody's end goal.
I see it as sort of like an action plan leading towards the goal, or a step, right?
Yeah, it's part of your process. My son challenged me one day when I said I was going to do something. He said, to what point and purpose? I said, what is that, Shakespeare? And he said, it's Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. To what point and purpose? So I think it's tough for those of us living in this I can have it all age to be willing to recognize I can choose to control my time. I can do almost anything, but I can't do everything. What would you say, Jerusalem, in the work that you do with agents, is the thing that they struggle with the most?
Just handling all of those things all at once. I'd say that's the biggest thing. It's just, I want to do this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. And I think a lot of the agents, they're so passionate about what they do, helping their clients. And so they get stuck in the weeds of, doing almost everything. And so it's just a matter of, and you make a good point. It's, they can do anything, not everything. But I think the mindset they have is, they can do everything within the real estate business. But at the same time, whether you're a solopreneur or a team leader, you can't do everything essentially. And so they're when I'm having these conversations with them, it's like, what kinds of things can we outsource? What kinds of things can we assist you with to help you become more efficient? But I think in the day-to-day, they're just caught up in the weeds of, okay, I got to do this. I got to make sure this is good, and this and that. And then while the end goal is to get to those more deals, but I feel like you can do all of those things and still reach that goal without you having to do everything.
Right.
And so that's definitely the biggest challenge, I would say, is them trying to manage everything within their real estate business, and thinking that there is a way to do it, especially as an individual associate. But at the same time, whether you're incorporating time management, organization methodologies like the ones that you and I have introduced with Asana, and getting things done, methodologies and things like that, I think even with that, you still can't do everything. And even Dave Allen, in the book that we're both reading, there are things that he even tells people to delegate, so that you can really prioritize on what to focus on. And so, they really, agents don't have to do everything. So I tell them the same thing, but you make a really good point, though, the differentiator between anything and everything. And I think it's just like, oh, I can take on this, but it's like, you don't know, like maybe next month you're going to deal with like 10 clients, or, in this busy market. I mean, one day you're like, oh, I don't have business, but then the next week you might deal with like five buyers and you feel like you could have done everything, but now it's like, I can't do everything because I don't have time, right? So especially in a real estate business where things are so unexpected, left and right, and we're still in a really good, crazy market, but it's still so unexpected. And I think the mindset kind of shifts on a day-to-day basis, or even throughout the day. It's like, okay, I can do this, but then like in the morning you wake up and then you're like, oh, you know what, maybe not, because I have a listing appointment that ran a little bit late, or I'm dealing with an issue with the listing agent, or and things pop up left and right, especially with the conversations that I have with the agents. I mean, when we're canceling appointments, or things pop up left and right, things are so unexpected. And so yep, Suzanne, love Asana. I'm so glad you love Asana. Asana is supposed to help you be able to do almost everything, not everything, but
well, I want to get back to something that you said. You're making an excellent point about how delegating is going to be a very, very important step to getting the things done that you want. But I want to read another quote from the book and talk about that. It says, when there is a serious lack of clarity about what the team stands for and what their goals and roles are, people experience confusion, stress, and frustration. And this is true for individual solo agents as well. So it's not just run without a plan. Everything is equally important. You can do it all. Just hire more people who don't know the goal and don't know the plan and don't have priorities. Do you hear the mess in that? Like that's right. Like, no, I don't need a plan. I just need more people to randomly do stuff that has no point and purpose. So I think it really, really does come back to planning. And I want to encourage everyone, outline your business plan. And I have my little visual aid. This is my business plan on a poster. So be clear about what you committed to do for your business this year, okay? Exactly what you're going to do. What's your mission statement? I got my discipline equals freedom. That's a good essentialism phrase. Be clear. And then when you have this wild idea that you want to start, a show on YouTube, look at your plan and say, does a show on YouTube get me closer to my goal faster than the other things that I already committed to do? Actually, Jerusalem, I'm thinking I'm going to share my screen with the outline that I created for the class that I taught for Remax Allegiance. Let me see how quickly I can share my screen. Share screen. Which one? That one. Share. So if this was the bare bones of my business plan, and I have much longer versions that I've shared, but if this was the bare bones of it, how much I'm going to earn, how many closings is that, how many conversations is that, and how many sources of business is that? And these are the numbers of transactions I expect to get. You see, I broke down my 24 closings by these four sources: sphere of influence, social media, listing leverage, and geofarming. So then I hear someone say, I'm killing it with expireds. And I think, I want that. I get all fired up. I'm excited. I want what they have, right? And this happens to me as a coach. My quote to myself, somebody's commenting, Michelle is commenting, this past week has been, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Oh, you're sharing it. Cool. As I outsource some work, that should give me more reach. That's awesome, Michelle. Just because I can doesn't mean that I should. That's a really great point. So here's the thing that I want to encourage everyone to do. Get a little bit more clarity on what the goal was and how you thought you were going to get to the goal. And if you have some ideas that cause you to want to amend your plan, think of it like a custom blueprint for a home, for building a house. If you suddenly changed your mind about the way the kitchen's going to be laid out, or you want to add on a room, you have to amend the blueprint. You can't just assign some people to randomly start doing stuff on the side when the main crew was already working from the plan. So edit your plan, commit to your plan, believe in your plan, make edits as you choose, but don't write it, throw it away, and then do things at random. You could never build a house that way, and you can't build a functioning, thriving business that way and still have time with your family and get enough sleep. So if this was the plan and I found other cool ideas, I have to hold the new idea in light of the plan and ask, is this more important? Would I like to trade some things, or do I really have space to add? And is this something worth delegating? Not everything fits. Pile it on. Let's do it today. So I want to encourage you to be very, very clear about having your plan outlined. And we had a lot of fun in the class at Remax Allegiance moving our plan to Asana. So we can do that class again in the future and show you exactly how. The other thing that I'm doing, Jerusalem, to give this clarity, because a lot of the precepts in essentialism need some clearer how-to for the agent then. Because we can say, not everything is special. Not everything is important. Yes, you can set boundaries. Yes, your time is your own. But they don't know what that means. So I think well, a lot of the people that I coach seem to not know what that means. A lot of the agents that I teach in agent training. So I want to recommend that you have a plan and you do time estimates. And that's what we did in essentialism. So if I'm going to nurture my sphere of influence, and these are the things that I'm going to do. These are the number of calls, texts, pop-bys, client events, annual home value reports. These are the tasks, right? Now I need to estimate how long it will take me to generate an annual home value report. How many people am I going to do that for? When will it be delivered? And by whom, right? And when you use something like essentialism, or heck, you could even put it in a spreadsheet. What is the task? Generate annual home value reports. How big a priority is it? When is it due? How long will it take? Is there someone else I can assign it to? And if you do that for everything, then you can know if you've overcommitted. This is the thing. People say to me, Amy, do you think I could add such and such? I want to.
Do you think I could?
I know, Amy, Coach Amy, help me. I want to sell properties in a beach in Virginia Beach, 2 hours away. Can I do that also? Can I? And I'll just say, I don't know. Show me where it fits in your calendar.
Right. I don't know. Can you?
Oh, no. Show me where it fits in your calendar.
Right.
And we're just like, it's about belief. Can I? Yes, I can. Well, at some point, you actually have to do the work. So
right.
This is my grounding question. Does it fit in your calendar? Show me. Share your screen. Show me your calendar. Let's talk about this. I'm never going to tell somebody no. I'm going to say, sure. If it fits in the hours you have in the day, let's do that. Right? So I think that's one of the most important things you can recognize is that everybody gets 24 hours in 7 days. And I encourage you to be really proactive about what is essential, right? What is important. This is one of the things that blew my mind about this book. See if I can find a quote fast enough. He was talking about how we live in an age where everything is supposedly so fabulous and special. Everything. We have to buy all the things, right? Can you guys remember? I'm older than you. I'm saying you guys because I can see Jackie in the background. I am older than you guys. I remember a time when, washing machines didn't break in 3 years. They lasted forever and toys were simple and we didn't have that many toys. And now it's like, the toys are littering the floor so much that the parent hurts their feet trying to get to the kitchen for a cup of coffee. Like we are just drowning in lots, but not great, right? Not as many special things. And the same is true in real estate. Right? Now we've got Clubhouse. Now we've got TikTok. It's like you've got to do more things, more, go. Now your iPhone just updated to a new thing and now you don't understand the functionality. How often do things change?
Right, technology, especially with what I do and making sure we're always getting updates and technological, intros to new platforms, new products for real estate. And so those are always changing on a day-to-day basis. And I have to teach myself those before I teach the agents. And so that's also a big part of, hey, I could do this, or I want to learn this, or, and so every day there's always new things that agents are being introduced to as well.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah.
But I think this is what I'm trying to impart is that if you could believe that not everything is for you, just because it's new doesn't mean you need to have it.
Right.
Just because it exists doesn't mean you need to know it. What book are we mentioning? Oh, Essentialism.
By who's the author? Greg
McKeown.
Okay.
It's a great audio. He reads it himself and he has a beautiful British accent. Great audio as well. So I think that the challenge here, Jerusalem, is not everything is for you. And I tried to point this out to a boss that I had years ago. He was just the typical agent, super ambitious, shooting for the moon and star, shooting for the sun and hitting the moon. Like he was doing great, but so wildly ambitious. And he would load up his staff to an unreasonable degree. And I was sort of the buffer. I was the sanity buffer. And I wasn't persuasive to him in asking him to please consider that maybe we had more on us than we could bear. And so I came to him one day and I said, hey, I have an idea. I think we should open an Italian restaurant. Now, understand we were running a real estate brokerage. I
Right.
said, I think we should open an Italian restaurant. And he looked at me like I was crazy, which is the reaction I was going for. And he's like, what? I said, it'd be fantastic. You love Italian food. We have staff. It'd be extra income stream. I think it'd be amazing. And he's still looking at me like I'm an idiot. And he finally blurts out, we don't have time for that crap. And I said, of course not. And we don't have time for half the stuff you assign us. But because it's technically real estate, you think everything fits. Unlimited numbers of real estate tasks will somehow fit in our days because they are real estate. But if I asked a coaching client, hey, I'll coach you to open a daycare center. Let's do this. We'll include it in our coaching calls. We'll open a daycare center also. They would think I was an idiot. Who would do that? Who would try to also run a daycare center while running a real estate business? But it's kind of the same thing. It's 24 hours. So I really want to encourage everyone to believe that you can make more judicious choices and you can do less and you can do it better. A really, really tangible example of way agents think that their time is not their own is when someone calls and says, I have to see this house now.
ASAP, right?
I have to see this house today. I have to see this house this morning. Okay. So what would happen if I've committed to be on this show and someone has to see a house? What would I do? Well, I'll just text Jerusalem, not coming. I'm going to show a house. Never. Okay. So thanks to the things that I have committed to, I have learned the discipline of, no, I have something more important. But that wasn't always true for me. Mm-hmm. If my calendar was mostly open and someone said, I have to see a house at 10. What reason would I have for saying, meh, how about later? I would never do that, right? And I don't know, Ruslan, I think you probably get glimpses at agents' calendars. I'm not sure, because you help them with their technology. But a lot of agents, if you saw my calendar is pretty much full. Right. It's pretty much full all the time with actual appointments. But for an agent whose calendar is kind of mostly open, they have a huge list of tasks, right? They have a huge list of marketing tasks. They have a ton of things they need to do, but they aren't appointments. So when somebody says, I need to go see this house, they're like, well, I guess I won't do my lead gen. I mean, showing a house is more important, right? Or I won't work on my buyer presentation, or I won't upload my tasks into Asana because they have to see this house. And then the day gets away and the week gets away. And then it
never gets done.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you have to consider some of these tasks as appointments with yourself. And then you have to decide that appointments with yourself are as worth honoring as appointments with others. I took a course where they said that's the definition of integrity. Keeping your word to yourself. Keeping your word to other people is just being a suck up.
Right. But I mean, there's always the whole thing where like clients come first. So if they say, I want to see a house, you drop everything and just go and show them that house.
Talk about this.
Right.
I wish we had a room full of agents so we could poll them. What percentage of the time that you show a house do they choose it and buy it and close? What percentage of the time?
In this market, it's probably a lesser percentage.
In every market, it's almost never. It's not that often that you drop, your kid on their head and run out the door, and I'm trying to be graphic, and run out and show a house, and it's the one, I'm buying it, we're done. It's rare, right? Right. And also, have you heard the expression, lack of preparation on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine? So when these people say, it's got to be now, why does it have to be now, right? I had this happen the other day. I had a full coaching day. And this woman is like, I want to see this house now. The answer was no. I mean, that was not an option. But instead of saying, hey, I'm coaching, I just said, well, I'm available at 4:30. Let me double check what slots are available left to show that property. I got back to her and I said, we can get in at 4:30. Does that work for you? Yeah. I mean, most of us won't even ask, right? We assume that it's true that it has to be now, and we don't give any deference to our own goals and vision, right? So I think it's absolutely important. Oh my goodness, here's the other thing I wish. And we do have, what percentage of time? What does that mean? Oh, that's Jackie posted that.
It's for the agents to answer.
Yeah. So the thing is, we do have an audience here. We do have people listening live. So think about this. What the highest and best use of your time is setting listing appointments. If you spent your week scheduling listing appointments, okay, that would be the most valuable thing that you could do. Showing houses to people who may or may not be qualified, who may or may not be clear on what is required. I think that the second best thing you could do is buying strategy sessions on Zoom. For those who haven't seen previous shows, don't show houses to buyers in this market. People say without a pre-qual letter. That's bare bones. Don't show houses to people in this market without walking them through the current statistics. Show them the list to sell ratio that is average for their target home. List to sell ratio. It's priced here. Where is it going to sell? On average, here. Until they know that homes are averaging X amount above, and you say, oh, it's tough. It's competitive. It's competitive. They don't know what that means. Log into the MLS, share your screen. I do this all the time. Walk them through the stats right now and ask them, how do you feel about offering more than full price? And then shut up and make them tell you. What would you think about a covering appraisal gap? Let me explain appraisal gap. This is what's happening right now. I had somebody say to me the other day, Jerusalem, that they are exhausted. They have lost out 9 times in a row. Their buyer has lost out 9 times. And I said, did you do a buying strategy session? Did you walk them through the expectation that they'll have to win? Oh, it's just too competitive. They just can't win. I said, somebody won. 9 times. Somebody got a house and it wasn't them. If you don't have the winning strategy, you won't win, right? And you can't ask them to just guess blindly. So I think it's absolutely vital in this market that you guys stop overthinking the shiny objects, right? We're over time. The newest shiny thing, focus every single week on posting things that are listing attracting. Go do an audit of your social media and recognize that most of your conversations and most of your ads have to do with buying. And I'm not saying don't work with buyers. I'm saying it's time to skew your marketing to attract listings. So these are my essentialism. I'm going to tell you what to care about.
Essentialism for real estate.
Yeah. This is essentialism according to Amy. Start attracting listings and focus primarily on it. And don't overthink the buyers, because the buyers will come to people who have listings. I'm not saying don't work with buyers. I'm saying focus on listings and you will have both. So start focusing your conversations and your marketing on listings. Make an intention to have a listing appointment every single week. Fight for it. When somebody says, ooh, I have this, hey, do you want to take this title company class? Hey, let's go on this networking caravan. Say, have I set my listing appointment yet this week? Nope. I got to stay here and set my listing appointment. Set a listing appointment every single week and let all the noise fall away. And when someone says, I have to see this house right now, say, that's exciting. Let's talk about where you are in your buying process. Slow it down and figure out what they need. So I recommend the book Essentialism. I really encourage you to write it on your bathroom mirror. Do less and do it better. Not everything is for you. Not everything is special. It's absolutely true. We live in an age where everything is supposedly special, and it truly, truly isn't. And okay, last quote, and then I'll let us run. I can't believe we're over time, Jerusalem. Okay, last quote.
Let's end the session with a powerful quote.
Right. Many capable people are kept from getting to the next level of contribution because they can't let go of the belief that everything is important. Not everything is important and not everything is for you. Start to believe in your authentic self and your authentic contribution, your authentic brand, your authentic value, your authentic life is not the same as someone else's. Quit peeking over other people's fences on social media and feeling jealous of what you see. Live an authentic life, choose to do a few things really, really well, and go home to your family. That's my parting shot.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a powerful quote. Do it less, and do it better.
Yes.
So that's the biggest takeaway for the day, and also heading into the weekend too. I think it's a nice thing, because it's like real estate agents are also really busy on the weekends too.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not that standard Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So do it less and do it better. Thank you so much, Amy. Definitely check out the book on Essentialism by Greg
McGowan. Yes.
McGowan.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. This was a really wonderful topic. We're over time because we're having too much fun. So, so thank you so much. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Thank you for watching. And as always, we are here to make your real estate career better.
Bye, everybody.